today I'm gonna show you how I do like my homemade rotisserie chicken. I have a whole fryer chicken over here that has been rinsed and patted dry with the giblets removed. I'm gonna put that to the side while I work on the base. Super easy in a slow cooker. As you can see, I have that here. I'm gonna use all the veggies that I have as a kind of bed for the chicken. And I have some fresh herbs courtesy of my friend Dodie. So what I did was ordered bulk vegetables, and so I'm trying to stretch them out as much as possible. And part of that, and part of my strategy in doing that is using scraps. So for example, when you cut the heart of the celery off of the bunch, use that for your stock. So I'm gonna just pop that right in the bottom of the slow cooker. All my vegetables have already been rinsed and patted dry. I also love to use the leaves. That's where a lot of the flavor lives. And then what I'll do is just use like, you know, the inner parts. You can even, actually I'm gonna hang on to these and stuff these inside the chicken. The rest of the celery I'm gonna put back in the fridge. I'm gonna wrap it in a dry towel and wrap it. And I'll probably just use that as like a snack, right? Then I'm going to do some onions. They're gonna fall apart in the slow cooker, but because I'm doing more of a rotisserie style and not a chicken soup, I don't need to slice and dice them. I just want their flavor. So I'm gonna put a couple that I've cut in quarters just right at the bottom of the pan. And once again, I will use another one to stuff inside of the chicken. That's my son making noise. I always have like a little trash bowl. And the scraps, these scraps, you can save these too. You can use the scraps in here, or you can save it to make a separate broth, vegetable broth, for the basic soups or for boiling rice and pasta to give it extra flavor. But I'm just setting them aside for now, and then I'll figure out what to do with them later. If you have a compost, you can put them there too. Okay. Now I have a nickel allergy, and I'm actually really allergic when I touch raw carrots. So I just buy a bag of baby carrots, cut it open, and pop it in there. But if you are cool with touching raw carrots, by all means, I like long carrots. They're nice and pretty. And you know, sorry, I'm getting distracted by my son. And I had a few extra. Pop those in there because those will taste yummy. I also have some scraps from another vegetable chop up that I did. And I want to use some of these green onions, the white parts. I'm going to use that inside the chicken as well. So I'm glad I saved that. You won't eat that, and I'll tie the chicken with kitchen twine so that you don't get it mixed into the slow cooker. But I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use a bunch of garlic, butter, and herbs and stuff for the rotisserie. The green parts of the onions, I'll wait and use that like to top while they're nice and fresh so that they don't lose all that flavor. So I'm just popping some chopped whites, sections of the green onion, to go in my little bed of vegetables. I think I'm gonna use some potato, cause why not? So I'm just gonna chop up one potato. I believe these are Idaho potatoes, and just cut them into large wedges, and then that way, oops, almost lost one. That way when you go to eat your rotisserie chicken, you can save these potato wedges and the baby carrots, and then that will be your vegetable on the side. So really making a whole dish in one. So I'm just scattering these at the bottom. I'm gonna season all of that with olive oil, coarse salt, and pepper. I will probably use half the fresh herbs I have in the chicken, and then the other half, like, I'm gonna save this for garnishing and chopping, but it smells really good. Okay, I'm gonna do like half another potato just because I need room in there, but this will be really yummy tonight for dinner. I'm probably gonna do this on high for 4 hours. The house will start smelling really good. I love how potatoes come out in the slow cooker. They're just like perfectly tender. Okay. So now I'm gonna get to work on my chicken. Move some stuff around here. So for the chicken, and I don't know if you can see, I'm gonna do the best I can here. I think something is very funny. So I'm going to kind of slit into the skin a little bit so I can season inside the skin as well as on top. And then the thing about this is you can eat the chicken like just, you know, plain like a rotisserie chicken with sides, or you can use the meat for sandwiches, soups, salads, whatever. Like, the options are endless. I would suggest having your butter and everything ready, because once you get your hands in there, like, they're already dirty. So I'm gonna take about half of that butter and put it on my cutting board with the chicken. And I'm literally just going to stuff some butter inside the skin. It's already at room temperature, so it's pretty easy to move around. I know this is kind of gross looking, so sorry. If you're a vegetarian, don't watch. This was an organic, free-range chicken. Okay, so I've got that inside the skin. I'm also gonna pop some rosemary, oops, well, there goes my garnish, sorry. Inside the skin for flavor. There's still about a quarter of that butter. Okay, inside the crevice is gonna go the onion, the celery leaves, I'm gonna take the butter, I'm gonna massage it right onto the chicken, getting into all the crevices. You can also use olive oil if you don't want to use butter, but I'm using unsalted butter because I like to be able to control the amount of salt that goes in there. Okay, I'm gonna get a little more butter for the other side. Inside the skin and all around. And then I'm gonna season this with one of my favorite seasonings, Rotisserie. This chicken will not have dyed in vain. It will be yummy and it will feed my family. And I'm very grateful for this chicken. I think it lived a happy life. Free range and all that. Okay, so this is pretty well coated. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick and then I will come back to show you the rest. Okay, so these are two of my favorite seasonings. the Rotisserie. It's like this. I like the original. And then I also love these Sarah sea salts. This is the Mediterranean salt. And it's got sea salt, spices, garlic, lavender, rosemary oil, basil oil, and canola oil. And this has, I think, garlic. I don't know, it just tastes really good. So I'm gonna season this with some extra virgin olive oil. Good helping of that to coat it off. And just some regular salt and pepper for the veggies. I love these. I'm gonna mix that up with a spatula just to make sure it's all coated. But with the slow cooker, everything's gonna just soak up all the flavor from the chicken. So those potatoes and carrots are gonna be so good as a side. Okay, so now it's almost time to get my hands dirty again, but I'm going to cut some kitchen twine before I start touching the chicken again so that I don't ruin the whole ball of twine with dirty chicken hands. Okay, so this is just gonna go whoop to the side. So now I think I'm gonna do a blend of this Mediterranean sea salt on one side and then Rotisserie on the other and see how that comes out. So I'm just gonna coat, that smells so good already. Coat one side of the chicken really well with this salt blend. I'm gonna rub it in. Actually, let me open this before. I'm actually gonna put some of this on the side so that I don't have to touch this with my dirty hands. Okay. So rub that in. Should stick to the butter, oil, whatever you've got. Flip it over. And get more of the seasoning, put on the side, and just smear that all around in all of the crevices and everything. And here's where you can get really creative. Like, I'm just doing a pretty basic seasoning, but you could do like tandoori seasoning, you could do curries, you can do Chinese 5-spice, you can do a barbecue chicken. Like, the possibilities are pretty endless. Okay, so now I'm gonna tie up the chicken. I'm not like perfect at this, I'm gonna do my best, but my main goal is to keep this chicken from falling apart, from having all of this stuff fall apart. Okay, so we're gonna take this, pop it right in. I have some already peeled garlic, and I'm just gonna toss some of that in. Just full cloves. You can never have enough garlic. Okay. Pop this on. Popping the lid on fits perfect, even with a whole chicken in there and a whole lot of veggies. And this is gonna go while you're in. And all these look different, but you wanna set it on probably low for 8 hours, high for 4, and intermittently check on it. And just let it go. That's it. So now the whole chicken has been cooking in the slow cooker for 4 hours with all the vegetables. And here's what it looks like. I've removed the chicken and the vegetables to put on a sheet pan because I'm gonna pop it under the broiler so that it browns up a bit. I've taken the rest of the liquid that was in the slow cooker. I did add some bone broth while it was in the slow cooker because it was looking a little dry. So that mixture is now in a saucepan over the stove. I'm gonna try to thicken that up a little bit, probably with some gluten-free flour, and just let it reduce so it's a little bit more like a gravy. And then I will show you guys what it all comes out like. Into the broiler, I have it on high. Just gonna keep an eye on it because the veggies might brown sooner than the chicken, so I don't want it to burn. I worked so hard while it was in the slow cooker for 4 hours. Okay, and that's just a lot of food that I don't want to go to waste. I'm gonna keep an eye on that. Over here, you should start to see this coming to a boil. Okay, so this is coming to a boil. I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit. And I'm gonna slowly add in some cup for cup gluten-free flour because I have a gluten sensitivity. So I'm just gonna do like 1 tablespoon and see what happens there after I whisk it. And go little by little, trying to get a gravy. I don't want to overdo it. You could just take it right out of the slow cooker and eat it. It's totally fine that way. You don't have to do all these extra steps, but I have the time. What else am I gonna do? Okay, so I want you guys to see what this looks like. See how nice and brown that is on the top? That is what I wanted, just a bit of color. And now, turn that on. Now it looks like a rotisserie chicken that you might get at the store. And that's it. Let's try it with the gravy. Look at that, see how it sticks? That's what you want. Okay, so a little bit more salt and pepper here. I did add another tablespoon of the flour and of like a dash of Worcestershire sauce. Turn that off now before it does get gummy. And voila, look how pretty. I'm so excited. I'm gonna take some of that coarse salt and just put that right over the top, and some pepper, maybe even like a drizzle of olive oil over the top of all of that to give it a nice glisten. And a squeeze of fresh lemon, just brighten it up. All right, so I just drizzled some olive oil right over the top. This is fresh, cracked, kosher sea salt, pepper. This is my gravy boat. It's from a set, which obviously I'm not using, but it's still really pretty. And I love using things of sentimental value when I cook. So I'm just gonna squeeze some fresh lemon right over the top. I'm going to use a sieve to pour the gravy in there so that I don't get all those little bits. Just right over the top. Look how pretty. So that's it. Yeah.